everybody, welcome back to the Flames Pyro Art study group on the grizzly bear. I'm at a stage at the moment where I thought I would come in and just give a little talk about what I'm doing. I'm working around the fish of the bear at the moment, and I'm using a technique called negative wood burning. So basically what we do is we use the background to its full effect. If you think about the fish, for example, and they say it's a white-ish fish. Now, we don't want to put a dark outline around the fish. We never outline our work. So what we do is we negative wood burn around it. And in the case of this grizzly bear, he has a front claw that's coming off here, but here at this point is the back leg of the grizzly bear. So we can use that back leg to its full potential. And there's some water droplets coming from the fish also as well, splashing out of the water, so we can implement them into. I'm using like a large, let me get the exact title of it, large spade shader by the Optima range. So what I'm doing, I'm just looking at trying to find the different layers of this bear image that we're creating. So this back leg is the furthest away region. Then it steps up to more of the front body and the front paw. So there's different layers, different depths that we work to with our pyrography when we want to try and create something with as much realism as we can possibly achieve. We have to try and capture the different depths of the piece, and that's all done by the shading tones we use. So at this stage I've got my heat setting at just under 4, which is quite high. It's up there with the sort of higher heats that I use to wood burn. And I've just been careful around them water droplets, as I do want to do something with them, so we'll try and be careful around them. So I'll swing my board back round. Hopefully you can see this on the camera. Let me just make sure. So what I'm doing, I've found where the level where the water starts. So down this back end of the fish, I'm going to negative burn the back paw of the bear, which is going into the water, so you can't see the bear's foot or paw. So let's do this, and then we'll erase some of the transfer line of this fish. Now ideally you want to always move your strokes in the direction of the fur. Sometimes you can't do that. You have to be a bit more careful and go around the edge of the shape of the fish. But as long as you're only thin at the edge there, then it doesn't make too much difference. So we're already now thinking about the different depths of the piece. We know the fish and the nose is the front of it, is the nearest thing to the eye. So everything else from there needs to go back. In this back paw, you wouldn't see too much detail. We can add a little detail in a minute, but let's just shade it up first. It's quite a good pen, this large spade shader. I used it in my previous wood burner on a horse, I did, and I found it quite a good pen. For, you know, for larger area wood burning, it's ideal. So this, like I said, is called the large spade shader by the Optima wood burner range. For those of you who are new to wood burning, or at a level where that soldering iron type shader is no longer serving its purpose for you, know, you've outgrown it and you're looking to upgrade to, you know, a more higher level unit where, you know, you can add more detail and more control, then you can't go far wrong with the Optima. It's cost effective. You know, I found it to be a very reasonable price, even shipping to the UK. It's cheaper than many of the competitors. And also, sorry, my messenger is going off like mad. 1 second, sorry. Taking my son to Manchester today, moving out of his mum's. Yes, so no, the Optima wood burner, you can only find it at carvertools.com. It's typical, every time you do a video, you start getting loads of messages. Guaranteed. When you start filming, all of a sudden, people want to message you. You find that so often when you start filming, either your phone rings or your messenger starts going mad. Turn the volume off on that, and then hopefully you won't hear the pings. Okay, so this back leg of the bear is quite wide. It goes past the fish just to a level at the fin on my reference photo. No, that hasn't worked. Stop the pinging. That should be the end of that for a few minutes. Okay, so like I was saying, the back leg of the bear comes all the way out here. And use your reference photo to try and give you some sort of guidelines as to where that back leg finishes up. And I've found it somewhere around here on my reference photo. I use a reference photo just to get me started, really, and for little points like this, you know, where you want to just find the exact spots. So this back leg will have to be darkened, because that's it's a furthest back point. So once we come to add this front paw, we may have to darken that off, so we keep that in mind. We'll just get the rubber out and we can remove the graphite from the fish there. And along here. And then it leaves us with a fish that has no outlining, but it will really make it pop and sit forward. Once you've added this little bit, this is really dark on the reference here. This is way back there on his back leg. It said you can't see any fur detail. You can see water splashing around there as well at the back leg. I'm not going to go into the water parts of it just yet. That's a little way off in the distance. But it is quite important as well that you get what we call a clean edge to your value, which basically means everything you do, you know, must have a clean edge to it, as it would in real life. Try and imagine, you know, if you were to see a big grizzly bear with a fish in its mouth in real life from a little bit of distance, because you wouldn't want to get right up close to it. Imagine how it would look. Hopefully you can see this bit on the camera, as I'm getting right up to the front paw level now. So as you can see, I've gone that shade darker because I want to set it behind the front paw. And then the water level comes in around that area, which we're gonna no doubt have some fun with, trying to create water. Be a new learning experience for me to try and create daytime water. I've done nighttime water, which is quite easily to do, but we'll see what the daytime water is like. I really want to darken this paw back to sit this fish front and forward. I was going to say proud, but the fish certainly doesn't feel proud at the minute, does it? I'm sure the bear feels proud, but the fish doesn't. As he's had his last rites. Now the fin here. Great thing with this spade shader is it's got a very large edge. Large straight edge to it, so I can use that straight edge to my advantage. And get a really clean fin line there, because again we're negative burning the fin, and there's a bit of shape to the fin as it just, there's a little kink in it just near the end, so you can add that in just by adding that little bit of darkening there. You could change the shape of the fin to whatever shape you wanted. Then we can remove the graphite of the fin. And we have a clean edge around the fish on the underneath area. Well, we're almost there. We've got a little bit to do up here. Everything's trying to fall away from me today. I'm going to have to swing upside down again, because I want to capture this fin right. There's not the fur sadly only goes off to there. But it does give us the underneath body of the fish, and again I will utilise this large spade shader's edge to try and get a nice clean line to the fish, as it would be in real life, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be all crooked and wavy, it'd be nice and smooth. And then after you've lined, you can just come in with your spear point and just pull your strokes back down again with a fur. Then erase again. And this fur is from under the belly of the bear, from the looks of the reference picture. There's the front, there's the back paw. So this area is, you know, sticking down, hanging underneath the bear. As we grow the piece, we'll see its stance that is in. But that is negative wood burning, and that will really make your artwork pop and get things to stand out by negative burning. There's a fine line between outlining and negative wood burning. So utilize that background. If it's there, use it to your effect and negative burn around an image that is sat in front of it. And so when we come towards the end of this piece, you can already start seeing that the fish is sitting more forward. You can almost see the shape of it coming round. Well, I can in my mind's eye. I can see the shape. All this top fin area, the same, needs to be negative wood burned. We'll just have a quick go at that. The sun's just come out, which doesn't help, does it? Let me swing the camera around a little. So I'm going to utilise that edge again of this large shader. Even though the bear's fur isn't going in an upwards direction, it doesn't matter at this stage. I'm just setting a clean edge to the value of the fish. That sun's a killer. I'm going to have to put the blind down a touch. Just get it past, that's it. The sun was a killer then. What time are we at? 8:30. I'm going to do another 10 minutes. Try and get this negative burn around the fish. So just take your time when you get, to the edges. Come at it if you're not got the steadiest of hands. Come at it from a slightly wider, an inch your way in or millimetre your way in by fractions. Funny thing is, I have got the most unsteady hand if I'm taking a photograph with my phone, yet with a pyrography pen in my hand, I'm quite steady. It's just weird. So this is like the front massive hair coming down to the front paw. This here's obviously his head area that finishes off. I'm going to use negative wood burning again to pop the head forward from the body, which I've started to utilise here. Here's a few examples of where I've started to put my step in. And what I've found with this grizzly bear is there is so much hair to it or fur to it. You're never going to get every piece of fur exactly as the image. So why stress out about it, you know, trying to follow this reference photo to the T, you know? Just come up with your own outlines. Come up with your own fur style. You know, you don't have to try and follow every single mark and detail of the image. The image is just there as a guidance for you, really, you know, for outlining and drawing out a bear for you, because I certainly couldn't draw out a bear freehand. So just utilize the reference photos just for the transfer of your boundary edges. And then once you feel confident about what you're doing, ditch the reference and go with your own mind. I'm going to take this fur off just to a little higher level. Right, so on the tail fin, so I got to spin the board round. Hopefully you can still see me on this tail fin now. This is a little trickier. It's wavy is the tail fin. So we need to be a little bit more careful and add that waviness. The tail fin finishes off here. There is fur there we can utilize. Let's see if this pen will just get me into that corner, which it will. Just try and get your shape as clean an edge as possible. I'd say that was nearly there. So we could then rub out the graphite lines around the fish's fin, and that once I start adding more to there, that will really start to pop this fish out front and forward. So that's a little bit about negative wood burning and utilizing backgrounds, you know. So if you've got any part of the image you're working on and there's something sat behind it, utilize the object that is behind what is at the front of the piece, and that'll start adding a lot more depth and pop to your work. Okay, so I shall leave it there on this little mini session on negative burning and using backgrounds to the fullest effect. Sadly, I'm going to be away from a wood burner today. I was going to spend a good day wood burning this bear and really get cracking on it, but I will do when I get back from Manchester after. So take care everybody, have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing the study group members, bears, coming along. Hopefully, well, I know quite a few of you are further on than me, as I had a bit of touch of COVID the last week. I'm just getting over that, so I'm getting back to full tilt and we'll get this bear finished. Okay, so much love to everyone. Thank you for watching and bye for now.